Hello, friends. How are you? Happy solstice. Happy solstice. It is the first day of winter. The sun is moving it is ingressing into Capricorn. Capricorn is the first day of winter, and it rules the 10th house. To me, this has always been the new year because we're at the beginning of a new solar cycle. Because for us in the northern hemisphere, the we have the shortest amount of daylight, and from this point on, the sun, the warmth, the life force, the things that give us life in our solar system, on our earth, on our planet, in our northern hemisphere, this marks the new solar cycle as the minutes of daylight increases until we hit the peak, which is the first day of summer, which is 0 degrees Cancer. And then it fades away again. So for me, this is actually the time of the new year and the time to contemplate what's ahead for the upcoming year. And the ingress starts at about 11:19 p.m. on the Eastern Standard Time, so adjust your clock accordingly. And this energy, you'll feel the shift then, but it truly is not unleashed until we have our new moon, which happens to be a solar eclipse, which happens to be on Christmas. This pick a card series I'm doing today, pick a cards are fun, but I'm going to tell you right now to bookmark this video. I should have told you this first. You might want to pause the video right now and go get paper and pencil because you're going to take some notes. I'm going to be referring back to this new moon, this solar cycle a lot in the upcoming year because it has so many changes ahead and it's so transformational. So go ahead, get your paper, pencil. I'm holding onto my crystal because I feel like there's so much that wants to be said to all of you in this video, and I want to get it right. I want it to make sense. I want to convey it in a way that you can hear it readily, and I want to convey everything in a way that does not induce fear, but addresses fear. Because there's no way to sugarcoat what's coming ahead for us this year in 2020. As a human being on this earth, there are parts of me that kind of dreads what's ahead because I'm already kind of seeing what's happening the last couple months in my own personal life and where it's touching, and I don't like it. But as an astrology junkie, I'm so fascinated, and I'm so indescribably proud and honored to be at this point in history and with all of you, and that we all found each other. Because I'm telling you, last year I did not even get my first deck of tarot cards until Christmas. And then I played around with them for a while, and then I was terrified to start this channel. Terrified. Just wow. And so this solstice, I'm going to be charting and talking about just for us, not the political whatever going on here. This is for us. And so the other thing I want to tell you about the winter solstice and starting a new year. This is like the quiet of the night. Everything is quiet. Everything is bare. Things have gone dormant. There's really a conserving of energies. And like our ancestors ahead of us before modern technology, they knew and they planned for these days when it would be cold and it would be dark, and they would have to conserve their energies and fight for survival and plan ahead for that. So don't forget that that instinct is very much alive and well within you. This is why the one New Year's resolution that absolutely makes me crazy, and I want to scream at the world to say, stop doing that, are the resolutions that involve weight loss. Because your body is already intrinsically, instinctively in starvation mode to preserve. And the last thing you should be doing is shedding weight. That's how messed up things are. We really have to follow the biology, the astrobiology, I like that word, of our bodies and their needs. I think I'm going to have to do something with that word, astrobiology. So when you look at conservation of resources, because Capricorn is all about resources, that has to go to the very structures of your body. What are the structures of your body? Your bones, your joints, and your skin, which is also ruled by Capricorn because it's the protective structure around the body. So I'm just going to show you some things you might want to consider to help give your body a boost in these areas, because it's going to be so important all year long. The collagen peptides, you need this for your skin and for the connective tissues protecting your organs. Of course, for beauty, hair, skin, nails, joints, and bones. For myself, I find when I slack on these, I have some more joint pains or even pains in parts of my back. And when I start taking it regularly, it disappears, totally disappears. And then I forget I have pain until I forget to take it, and then it shows up again, just back and forth, back and forth. This other one I started taking this year. It's a bit costly, but when you talk about getting to the marrow of your bones, now we're talking structure. This just makes something at my core, I just feel stronger and more solidified. That's how I can describe it as. I love this product. I will be taking this religiously as we get into Capricorn season, and of course all of my other vitamins, because Capricorn is about stockpiling resources. It's not about starvation. You need to make sure you get your earthy minerals in your bodies, because if you look to the outdoors for the signs of what your body is doing, the plants that have gone dormant, they're rooting deeper. They're searching deeper for resources and minerals. That's how we have to feed our bodies. And you're going to need it, especially this upcoming year, because I'm telling you, things are going to break. Things are going to be pushed to their limits. There are people who are not going to fare well under these conditions. There are people who are going to get through all this like nothing. Nothing ever happened, because it doesn't touch a part of their chart. But about a third of the population is going to directly feel its effects, especially as this year progresses. So this is what I want you to do. This is why I wanted you to grab paper and pencil, okay? Just be honest. Because we're getting a baseline of kind of where your ideals are, a baseline of kind of like your platform of thinking of where you're planning to go, just off the cuff, just kind of your reflexive answers to what you're planning in the new year, because we're going to get bombarded with New Year's resolutions and what are you going to do. So I want you to take a moment, and if you need to pause, I'll tell you when to pause. I want you to just be honest, and it doesn't have to be long sentences or anything, but just to make a list. If I could magically fast forward in time and say, hey, it's the new year, what are your New Year's resolutions? What would you write down? Just think a little bit about that. What is important to you? What would you like to change in the new year? Whether it has to do with issues of money, how to manage it, how to improve your money situation, how to deal with debt, how you want to use your money, whether if you have New Year's resolutions that have to do with love, relationships, or ending a relationship, or trying to figure out your relationship with yourself. If you would have resolutions relating to work and career, where you want to live, what your goals are, what your health goals are, your weight. If there were no obstacles and you were free to manifest these things with some effort, what would that list be? And you have whatever you want at your fingertips. If you were living in a golden age, what would those resolutions be? So go ahead and write that down and pause, and then when you're ready, come back. Okay, so look at your wishes. And so let's say you're living in a golden era where everything is working just fine. You're kind of at the height of stability. Think about who your resources are, who your people are, where you might go, how you might consult with people to get these things done, what your expectations would be in being able to pursue these things. Okay? And opportunities that you kind of expect are there. Okay, now, this is where we're going to shift gears. When we consider this year, and I did a video on this earlier, where I kind of read like a journal entry of what's coming ahead. What we're looking at this year, people keep talking about the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, and I'll show that to you right here. This one here, that is it says 20 degrees, 24 minutes, Saturn. This is Saturn. Here's Pluto, 22 degrees, 4 minutes. That's Pluto. The great Saturn-Pluto conjunction is happening. It's coming January 12th. We have a full moon eclipse on the 10th, just days beforehand. And we have a new moon eclipse in about 4 days, right where Jupiter is right now. Jupiter is going to leave this mark as it moves forward, so the new moon wishes you make already have the benefit of Jupiter having left its mark to usher in good fortune and miracles and healing. This is why these new moon wishes are so important, because you are being offered a gift already on what you're going to do and wish for. So, and then the sun will eventually conjunct and meet this 22-degree mark down the road in a couple of weeks, and it is going to be, I think it's around January 13, 14. Those are going to be, it's going to be a very difficult day. And so when we think of this Saturn-Pluto conjunction, in that post that I did, kind of a journal entry that I narrated, this is why your new moon wishes are so important, and why you're going to need to kind of reframe, reconsider how you want to pursue that. And how you do that is going to give you so much more leverage, just in how you rethink this whole thing, okay? It's going to give you leverage for the upcoming year, and hopefully you won't get blindsided by things. There's going to be struggles and it's going to be hard, and you'll be able to anticipate them. So you don't have to waste all that emotional energy and stress, okay? Because we need to conserve our resources. So there's 3 times in history where we've had Saturn and Pluto conjunct in the sign of Capricorn. So this is a really rare conjunction. The most recent time it happened was about around the year 1500, which was the fall of Constantinople. And that was around the year 1500. And what came afterwards was the Italian Renaissance. The time before that was about 1,000 years prior, around 500, the year 500. In that year, that was the fall of the Roman Empire. And they were going through their second Pluto return, meaning this planet Pluto takes 200 some odd years to make one orbit. They were going through their second return, and it was the fall of the Roman Empire. Rome never regained her economic or military might. The ideals, though, continued in the Byzantine Empire, which is kind of like the Roman Empire East. But then that fell in 1500. The third time before this was about 1839, 1829 BCE, which was during the 12th dynasty in ancient Egypt. It was the height of their golden period, their golden era, and then it changed. So, and the thing is, with the fall of the 12th dynasty, they also had Jupiter in Capricorn with the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. However, Jupiter never made its way to Pluto, and then Saturn left. This year, we have all these planets in Capricorn, with the exception of a couple of months in the fall, or the spring, because Saturn is going to go into Aquarius, and then it'll retrograde back into Capricorn for the end of the year. So this is hitting everybody. It's hitting all nations. It's hitting all governments. And the United States is coming up on her Pluto return, because her natal Pluto is around 27 degrees, 28 degrees Capricorn. These are major changes. So when I tell you about the changes that were ahead of the Byzantine Empire, the Roman Empire, the 12th dynasty of ancient Egypt. Now, these things happened over time. Now, how do you look at those New Year's resolutions? How might you consider them a little bit differently? Because we need to conserve resources. We need to think more deeply about this before we get to this new moon solar eclipse on the 25th. Okay. I'm going to pause for a moment.